Capricorn, listen to me carefully. For 10 long years, you have walked through a season that felt like it would never end. A season where the weight on your shoulders grew heavier with each passing day. You carried it silently. You carried it when nobody saw the tears. You carried it when people thought you were fine. But deep inside, you knew you were fighting battles no one understood. Now hear this. What if I told you that on September 4 and 5th, the very chains that kept you stuck, the ones you thought you might carry forever, will finally shatter? What if I told you that the weight that once made you question yourself, the weight that made you cry in secret, is being lifted? Not tomorrow, not years from now, but right now. This is not a coincidence. You are not here by mistake. There is a reason you pressed play on this message at this very moment. Type these words in the comments so heaven sees your faith. My new life begins today. Because the truth is this: heaven has already signed the document with your name on it, and across it in bold letters are the words, paid in full. The debt you carried, emotional debt, spiritual debt, even the heavy weight of things people did to you, has been cleared. It is done, finished, erased forever. And on September 4 and 5, 2025, something powerful is about to happen. The doors that stayed shut for years will swing open. The walls that blocked you will fall. And it will feel like the universe itself is taking a deep breath and exhaling blessings straight into your life. Capricorn, stay with me until the end. Because what you are about to hear will not only explain the pain of the last 10 years, it will reveal why everything changes now. Capricorn, let's speak the truth today. Because you have carried too much in silence. The last 10 years have felt like a heavy night that refused to end. There were moments you begged for a little light, a little relief, but instead, life gave you another storm to walk through. Just when you thought you were close to peace, the winds blew harder. Friendships you thought would last forever slowly slipped away. Some people left without explanation. Some stayed, but changed on you in ways that broke your trust. Money came into your hands but disappeared just as quickly, like water running through open fingers. You tried to hold on, but no matter how tightly you closed your hands, it slipped away until you wondered if you were cursed, forgotten, or left behind by life itself. Doors you thought were open slammed shut in your face right when you were about to step through them. It felt cruel, like the universe was playing games with your heart and your dreams. And many nights, you whispered to yourself in the dark, "Why me? Why this long? What did I do to deserve this?" But here is the truth no one told you, the truth that will change everything for you. What you carry was never a punishment. It was preparation. Capricorn, life was not rejecting you, it was shaping you. Those years were a furnace, and you were the gold placed in the middle of its fire. Gold cannot shine until the fire melts away what does not belong. And that is what happened to you. Every heartbreak cut away the people and habits that could not walk with you into your future. Every loss built muscles you didn't even know you had. Every disappointment taught you wisdom you would have never learned if life had been easy. September 4 and 5 are not just dates on a calendar. They are heaven's way of saying, enough. The weight you carried has been counted, the lessons have been learned, the debt is paid, and now it is time for restoration. Capricorn, picture this in your mind for a moment. Somewhere beyond what your eyes can see, there is a sacred ledger. A record of everything you have carried over the last 10 years. On one side, it holds the nights you cried when no one was there to hear you. It holds the heavy weight of every promise broken, every door that closed when you needed it to open, every prayer that seemed to rise into the air with no answer coming back down. It holds the disappointments you never spoke about, the secret battles you fought in silence because you didn't want anyone to see you fall apart. But there is another side to this ledger. On this side are the lessons you learned even when life felt unfair. The strength you discovered when you thought you were at your weakest. The courage that slowly grew in you every time someone underestimated you. The wisdom that only came through tears, through loss, through standing up after falling again and again. And here is the miracle, Capricorn. On September 4th and 5th, heaven looks at this ledger, sees your name, and stamps it with words you have been waiting 10 long years to hear. Paid in full. This moment is not only about money, even though money will be part of it for many of you. It is about everything people owed you but never gave back, the apologies that never came, the love that was taken for granted, the opportunities that slipped through your hands even when you did everything right. It is about the weight left on your heart when someone walked away without looking back. It is about the dreams you thought were dead because they took too long to arrive. The plans you almost gave up on because the waiting felt endless. Capricorn, this is the season when the universe itself says, it's time to pay you back. Not just to balance what was lost, but to give you more than you thought was even possible. Because the waiting was never to break you, it was to prepare you for a return far greater than what you lost. Signs of a new beginning. Capricorn, when the weight of 10 long years finally lifts, it will not be a small whisper. It will not be something you have to question or doubt. The signs will come in ways that make you stop and realize everything is changing. The first sign will be the way people look at you. Those who once doubted you, the ones who dismissed your dreams, ignored your efforts, or even laughed when you tried to rise, will start to speak your name with respect. They will see a strength in you that was always there but hidden under years of struggle. Suddenly, the same voices that told you you can't will begin to say, you did. It will confuse them because they cannot understand how someone who went through so much could carry such peace, such grace, such quiet power. The second sign will be the opportunities that appear out of nowhere. You will not have to chase them. You will not have to beg for them. Things you once prayed for but felt ignored, doors you once knocked on but were turned away, will now swing open on their own. Jobs you thought were beyond your reach, connections you thought you had missed, ideas you thought were too late to start, these things will begin to search for you. You will realize you no longer have to fight the same battles because the season of resistance is over. The third sign will be the peace inside you. Capricorn, peace will move into your life like sunlight filling a dark room. There was a time when your mind felt like a storm. Questions, doubts, fears all fighting for your attention. You wondered if things would ever get better, if the pain would ever end. But when the debt is paid, something powerful happens. The anxiety slowly disappears and a calmness takes its place. You will feel steady even before all the answers come, even before every situation is solved. This peace will be your confirmation that heaven has already moved on your behalf. The fourth sign will be the dreams and inner messages. At night, you might begin to dream dreams that feel more like instructions than random pictures in your mind. These dreams will bring clarity where confusion used to live. They will remind you that your life is being guided by a hand greater than your own. Some of you will wake up with ideas, solutions, and even courage that you didn't have before, because these dreams are not accidents. They are messages for your next chapter. The fifth sign will be the right people arriving at the right time. You will meet people who feel like answers to prayers. Someone will speak a word that confirms what you were already feeling in your spirit. Someone will offer help you didn't even ask for. Someone will open a door for you without expecting anything in return. These are divine connections, Capricorn. They will remind you that you were never walking alone, even when you felt forgotten. And the final sign will be the impossible becoming possible. Things that made no sense before will suddenly begin to align perfectly. Delays will turn into green lights. Closed doors will open as if they were waiting for this exact moment. You will realize that this is no longer about effort or luck. This is about destiny stepping in. Capricorn, when September 4th and 5th arrive, it will feel like life itself is breathing again after holding its breath for 10 long years. You will know this is real because everything inside you will say, this is different. This is the beginning I have been waiting for. Capricorn, September 4 and 5 are not just dates on a calendar. They are doors. Doors leading out of a room you have been locked in for 10 long years. And when those doors open, the first thing you must do is let go. Let go of the guilt that has sat in the back of your mind like a shadow. Guilt over mistakes you made when you didn't know any better. Guilt over choices that seemed right at the time but ended with pain. You cannot go back and rewrite the past, Capricorn. It is over. And these dates mark the moment heaven says, you do not have to carry this anymore. Let go of the people who walked away. Some left silently. Some left loudly. Some left in ways that broke pieces of you. But whether they drifted away slowly or disappeared overnight, the truth is, if they were meant for your destiny, they would have stayed. Release the weight of wondering why they left. Release the need to understand what was never going to make sense. Their part in your story is over. Let go of the feeling that you have been running behind in life. That lie that told you you're too late, that everyone else is ahead, that somehow you missed the moment when everything was supposed to work out. No, Capricorn. The waiting was not wasted time. It was preparation. Your steps have always been on schedule with heaven's plan, even when it felt like delay after delay. The decade you survived taught you things you could not have learned any other way. It taught you what real love looks like. Love that stays, love that doesn't hurt you to keep you. It taught you what loyalty means, who shows up when everything falls apart, and who only stands close when things are easy. It taught you what strength really is, not pretending to be okay, but standing up even when you are not. And now, because of everything you've endured, you also know what peace feels like. Not just the quiet of silence, but the calm in your heart when nothing outside of you can shake what is inside of you. Capricorn, you are not the same person you were 10 years ago. The pain changed you. The silence changed you. The waiting shaped you into someone wiser, stronger, more focused, and ready for what's coming next. And now, the blessings will not find the version of you who was afraid, tired, or unsure. They will find the new you, the you who has been prepared for this moment, the you who can finally hold what is about to be placed in your hands. Capricorn, there is a rule written into the very fabric of the universe, a rule older than time itself, a promise carved into the unseen laws that govern life. Nothing leaves your life without something greater coming to replace it. This is not just poetry. This is not just hopeful thinking. This is how heaven works. It is the balance of all things. When something ends, when someone walks away, when a dream seems to fall apart, it is never the full story. It is always the preparation for something better, something you could not have received while your hands were still holding on to what was broken. That job that ended, the one that made you feel like the ground disappeared beneath your feet, it was never the final chapter. It was the closing of a door so that a bigger one could swing open. The ending was the training ground for the career that is about to begin. The disappointment taught you what the blessing will soon confirm, that you are ready for more than you thought you could carry. That relationship that broke your heart, the one that left you wondering if love was even meant for you, it was not the ending of love itself. It was the clearing of space, the space where a love that will stay, a love that will heal instead of hurt, can finally take root. You could not have carried the old pain and the new love at the same time. One had to leave so the other could arrive. And those dreams, the ones that felt like they died too early, the ones you buried because life seemed to keep saying not yet, they were never gone, Capricorn. They were planted, buried like seeds under the soil of time, waiting for the season when rain would finally fall. And now, September 4 and 5 are the beginning of that season. Because on those dates, there is a spiritual transaction happening in your favor. A trade written in the unseen realms, loss for gain. What you lost will be replaced with something greater than you imagined. Tears for laughter. The same eyes that cried in the dark will soon shine with joy in the light. Delay for destiny. The years that felt wasted will reveal themselves as the very years that prepared you for what's next. Capricorn, this is not a random change. It is the universe itself tipping the scales back towards you. Everything you thought was taken is returning in ways you cannot yet see. But soon, you will... Capricorn, when the season shifts, you will not have to guess or wonder if it is real. You will feel it. Some of you will wake up one morning and notice that the heaviness you have carried for so long has suddenly lifted. It will feel like a weight falling off your shoulders, like your chest can finally expand and breathe freely again. For years, you have moved with caution, expecting more battles, more struggles. But this time will feel different. There will be a lightness in your steps, a softness in your heart, as if the air itself has changed around you. For others, the proof will show up in ways you can see with your own eyes. A long-awaited message will finally arrive, the one you thought was lost or forgotten. For some, it will be a letter. For others, a call. For others, a sudden opportunity that opens in front of you with no warning. It will come in ways you did not plan, reminding you that blessings do not always knock before they enter. Some of you will see the proof in your finances, a breakthrough in the place where you felt stuck for so long. Unexpected money will come, not as a coincidence, but as a sign that the years of waiting have not been wasted. The delay was not denial. It was preparation for the right timing, and that timing has now arrived. For others, the proof will come through dreams. Dreams that bring clarity where confusion used to live. You may wake up with answers you have been searching for. You may receive direction for your next step, ideas for what to build, or peace about a decision that has troubled you for months or even years. These dreams will not feel ordinary. They will feel like whispers from heaven itself, showing you the path forward. And for many of you, the greatest proof will be the way life itself begins to align. Things that felt impossible before will now fall into place with ease. People will show up at the right moment. Opportunities will come together like pieces of a puzzle that always belonged but were waiting for the right time. Capricorn, understand this. The universe does not always announce the end of a storm with noise or fanfare. It does it with quiet skies after the rain. It does it with gentle sunshine after days of darkness. It does it with the feeling of peace after years of chaos. And this time, this sunshine, this peace, it belongs to you. What comes next? Capricorn, the debt is paid. The wait of 10 long years is gone. The waiting season is over. But now what comes next will depend on how you choose to step into this new beginning. You cannot carry the old mindset into the new chapter. The pain you experienced was real. The disappointments, the betrayals, the losses, they all left their marks. But this is the moment to stop rehearsing them in your mind. Stop replaying the words they said. Stop going back to the scenes where things went wrong. The past cannot walk with you into the future you are about to enter. Instead, begin to prepare for the blessings you have prayed for. Prepare like someone who knows they are coming. Clean out the spaces in your heart where doubt has been living. Remove the fear that keeps telling you that good things do not last. Capricorn, you have to make room for what is on its way, because blessings cannot settle where bitterness still lives. Walk like someone who expects goodness, not disappointment. Wake up in the morning and speak as if the answer has already arrived. See yourself winning before it happens. Talk about the future with hope instead of hesitation. When people ask about what's next for you, speak with faith, not fear. Because here's the truth. Your energy is currency. The faith you carry is like a magnet pulling the right things toward you. If you expect failure, you call it closer. If you expect blessings, you draw them in. The future will always pay you back in the same measure as the faith you give it. So what comes next? A new version of you. A you who refuses to live small because of what happened before. A you who believes again, dreams again, expects again. A you who is no longer defined by the decade of waiting but by the season of blessings now unfolding. Capricorn, the debt is paid, but your faith will decide how much of the promise you receive. The beginning of after. Capricorn, September 4th and 5th, 2025 will not be the closing of a chapter. They will be the opening line of a brand new story. A story where you are no longer surviving, but finally living. A story where the weight of the last decade is replaced with the lightness of freedom and possibility. One day soon you will look back on these 10 long years and see them differently. Right now, you may still feel the sting of all you lost, all that ended, all that delayed you. But in the future, when you stand in the middle of blessings you can hardly recognize, you will realize those years were the shaping years. The years that built the version of you who can now carry the abundance without fear, without doubt, without losing yourself. Because the truth is, Capricorn, you have never lived free before. Not truly free. Not free from the weight of expectation. Not free from the memories of disappointment. Not free from the feeling that life was always running ahead of you while you stayed behind. But now, everything changes. The future you are about to step into will feel unrecognizable because this time, you will not walk into it carrying chains. You will walk into it carrying lessons, strength, wisdom, and peace. Capricorn, this is the after you have been waiting for. The after pain, after delay, after disappointment life that was promised to you long ago. And now, it begins. Capricorn, before we end this message, type it one last time in the comments so heaven can see your faith. My new life begins today. Say it with expectation. Say it with confidence. Say it like someone who knows that what was heavy has been lifted, that what was delayed has now been released. Because after 10 long years of storms, of nights when you wondered if the rain would ever stop, you now step into a sunrise no one can block, no one can dim, and no one can take away from you. This is not just the ending of a hard season. It is the birth of a life you have never lived before. A life marked by peace instead of chaos. A life guided by clarity instead of confusion. A life filled with blessings instead of endless waiting. Capricorn, stay connected. Subscribe, because there are more messages coming, more confirmations, more clarity, and more guidance to help you walk this new path with courage and faith. Your decade of debt is over. Your season of blessings, your season of freedom, your season of abundance has begun. And this time, Capricorn, nothing can stop what has already been written in your favor.